Hello, this is Julia and thank you for watching this video. Today we focus on this reindeer from the Rabbithole design with his coffee mug and his irritated look on his face. And I will also use this Santa sleigh die from Magnolia and this watercolor paper as my background. I cut 3 sleighs from a sturdy cardstock and glue them together for that dimension I always seek. This card was left behind when my illness got worse before Christmas, and I want to finish it to look forward. To give this sleigh some color and a grungy vintage look, I use my Distress Oxide Inks in Vintage Photo and Ground Espresso. I make sure to cover it in Vintage Photo and then shade the nooks and crannies with Ground Espresso. The last touch on this sleigh is this Distress Crayon in Tarnished Brass. It's a creamy pigment crayon that I scribble on and smudge with my finger to give the sleigh some gold patina, and then I go over the edges with a black marker to avoid any white showing. It's time to stamp the reindeer, and I stamp him in Memento Tuxedo black ink that fits well with my alcohol markers. I'm using my Ohuhu markers to color the reindeer, and because this is a small image with many details, I try to keep him as light as possible. I decide to keep his robe white and only use a light neutral grey marker to add some shadows and blend it out with a colorless blender. I use 3 brown markers for his face and legs. I start with the lightest and then fill in the shadows with the medium and the darkest shade before I blend them together with the lightest again. On his small horns, I use 2 brown markers, but different browns from what I used on his face. I color his reindeer slippers in the same brown colors as the reindeer himself, and I use a red marker on the candy canes on his robe and 2 red shades for his coffee mug. I give him an ice blue glare, and then I move on to my background, and the day I made it I was in the mood for some jelly printing. I made this card before Christmas, but I wanted to show you and not leave any card behind when we go forward into 2021. I spread out my darkest blue acrylic paint from Dina Wakley. It's a thick, lovely paint, and I will be using all her blue paints in this background. I brayer on a thick layer of paint, and then I brayer off color on some scrap pieces of paper and start picking up color and brayer off on the side to create a dark frame around my background. Inside the dark blue frame, I put a string of each of the lighter blue colors and brayer them on. I put down a stencil from Dylusions and use scrap paper to pick up color inside the flakes. I brayer on silver paint over the snowflakes and lift the stencil. I let the snowflakes dry on my plate for 10 minutes, and then I brayer on the dark blue from the sides and the lighter blue colors in the middle, and then it's time to pull this print. I put a scrap piece of paper over my background to really be able to rub on this print and pick up all those yummy colors. It's time to stamp the sentiment, and I had my eye on this one for a while. It's just my humor. It says, dashing through the no. I stamp it twice in case my clumsiness gets me, in VersaFine Onyx Black ink. Before I put this card together, I just needed to darken the edges, so I took out my black marble Dylusions paint and I use a blending tool to go around the edges. I freehand cut out a small sliver of snow for the reindeer and sleigh to stand on, and I glue it down with my art glitter glue. Then I glue down the sleigh and the reindeer. I thought the sentiment needed something more to stand out on that busy page, so I cut a piece of black cardstock just a bit larger than the sentiment to frame it and help it stand out. The card is done, and I hope you all will follow me into 2021. Until the next time, see you soon.